If you haven't seen it, Royal Caribbean did open reservations for its first beach club in the Bahamas. Royal Beach Club Paradise Island opens at the very end of December, December 27th. And I think the big takeaway for a lot of people is the price. After all, this is our first chance to not only book it, but actually see how much it would cost to, well, visit the beach club. There are multiple admission types. You can buy just a day pass there, you can book a cabana, and a couple other experiences that don't really have anything we've experienced yet at other Royal Caribbean private islands. But when we're talking about the price, you have to remember this is a totally different experience. This is not Perfect Day, Coco Key, or La Badee, which everybody gets off the ship and gets a chance to go here, and there's included admission. This basically is a Royal Caribbean super shore excursion. Royal Caribbean doesn't want to call it that. I remember when I was talking to them in the lead up to the announcement of all the details, and I referred to it as that, and they're like, well, we don't really think of it that way. But for the purposes of this podcast episode, I'm going to call it a Royal Caribbean Super Shore Excursion, because that is the right analogy, in my opinion, compared to saying, obviously, Perfect Day, Coco Key. Because Royal Caribbean built this to make Nassau better. Basically, Nassau is one of the worst ports in the Caribbean, or really around the world, for Royal Caribbean in terms of guest satisfaction. Continuously, for years, they have heard that there's nothing good to do in Nassau. So this is why they're building it. And part of that is also trying to compete with what's available here currently. Whether it's good or bad is a different story. But you have to remember that the peers, if you will, for this particular product are really the day passes you already find in Nassau. A day pass to Atlantis, which is one of the hotels, the really famous one I'm sure you've seen photos of a bazillion times. Michael Jackson lived there for a while. You've also got the Baha Mar and a couple others as well. You can find them on resortforaday.com. There are two types of passes to get in here at the very minimum. These are the day passes. There's a day pass with an unlimited open bar and dining, and there's a day pass with non-alcoholic drinks and dining. Basically, Royal Caribbean is offering something that's all-inclusive, in which you can get all the alcohol, food, and whatever. And then also there's a non-alcoholic version. And that's not just for kids, by the way. This is also for adults who choose not to drink or don't want to drink that much, regardless of that. Now, the starting price for the unlimited open bar, whatever, is $169.99 for guests 21 or above. And for the non-alcoholic version, it starts at $129.99 for guests that are 13 and above. And then for guests 4 through 12, it's $109.99. And then under 3 is free. Now, of course, these are starting prices, and Royal Caribbean has dynamic pricing. So the price you actually pay for your particular sailing can vary substantially. And quite frankly, a lot of the cruises and sailings, you might find the price closer to that $200 or even more per person rate for the unlimited one. Now, as I said earlier, the pricing for the day pass to me is a little cheaper than I expected it to be. And I say that because if you go price out Atlantis or the Baha Mar, you're going to be paying easily $200, if not more. And those are not all-inclusive options, by the way. In best case scenario, some of the day passes in Nassau provide a food stipend, like you'll pay, I'm making up numbers here, $150 and you get like $40 stipend for food. And I remember when I went to the British Colonial, they've had that set up. The food there is terrible. And it's really expensive. So when you get like $40 a person, you think, oh, that's no problem at all. That's like one entree, and if you're lucky, a drink. I mean, it just basically jacks up the price in order to match it. And yeah, anyway, the point is that the pricing for the day pass for a shore excursion that offers you, inclusive of the opportunity what you can do there at the beach, the food, the drink, I don't think is unreasonable at all. And don't forget, by the way, we don't have time to go through every single thing here in terms of what you can do at the beach club, but there's 3 different zones. There's a party zone, family zone, and there's a chill zone, as they describe it. But, this is supposed to be the ultimate beach day. That's what Royal Caribbean is going after. There's no water slides here. There's no water park. There is, of course, pools, and there's beach access. There are cabanas. We'll talk about those in a little bit. There are hot tubs. I mean, there are ways for you to spend your day and enjoy a beautiful day by the beach. And also the really great thing we haven't even talked about is how close it is. Because don't forget, this is right where the cruise ships dock. You have to take a water taxi, which is included in your admission. And Royal Caribbean basically, I would say almost said buses you, but they boat you over to the beach, and then you get to spend your day there. So this isn't like one of those excursions also where you're spending half an hour, 60 minutes on a bus ride and back and forth. Anyway, it's very convenient. So you've got that. And it also includes, by the way, unlimited dining, unlimited beverages, free Wi-Fi, the transportation, like I mentioned, and general amenities. At that price for the day pass, I mean, yeah, if let's say it's $200 for easy math because I'm doing this on the fly here and math is not my strong suit. So for my family of 4, it'd be $200, $400, $600, $800 for the 4 of us to go there for the day, right? In order to do that. And it's actually a little bit cheaper because my youngest daughter wouldn't be $200. She would be less than that. And my Actually, both kids would be less than that because they don't drink alcohol. In fact, my wife doesn't drink that much alcohol. Okay, it's not quite $800, but for the sake of argument, let's say it's $800 just to say that. That is a spicy meatball for sure. But in the grand scheme of all-inclusive day pass kind of places, with this level of facility, by the way, I feel like it's a pretty decent price. I mean, I've certainly spent a lot more money on things like boat rentals and yacht charters, and even going to some of the day pass resorts, especially when you have more facilities that come with it. I feel like Royal Caribbean, at least, number one, it's a known entity, so I don't have to worry too much about, like, is this going to be a good one or a bad one? I have no doubt they're going to hit it out of the park with their implementation of the beach, like the setup and everything. I think it's going to be beautiful, and I think it's going to be a really fun and exciting place to hang out. But this brings me back once again to what I talked about at the very beginning of this episode, which is that Nassau has got nothing else going on with it. And, you know, I want to do something different, and maybe I don't go there every single time. That's the other thing. I mean, you know, odds are I'll probably be on a lot of cruises that'll take me to the Bahamas. I'm not sure I'll purchase admission every single time, in the same way that when I go to Perfect Day Cocoa Key, I don't buy admission to Cocoa Beach Club every single time, or Hideaway Beach for that matter. I buy it when the price makes sense. I buy it when there's a special occasion. I buy it when I've got friends and family joining me and I want to, you know, do something special with them. And doing something special with them, I think, is the name of the game here. Remember, Royal Caribbean can't and doesn't want every single person on the ship to book it. They're just looking to get a subsection of that. The capacity numbers, I've heard various numbers over the months, and I think it's right around 2,000 or so. But you know, there's multiple ships in port on any given day almost every single week. So, you know, there's a good chance they're going to be sourcing people from other ships. They don't need it just from your ship there. But I'm intrigued by it. I think for that price, it's reasonable. I was worried it was going to be actually higher than that. I thought it was going to be like 300 or something like that. Now, listen, it could end up being there. But for the pricing as it is right now, it's not the worst pricing I've ever seen. What I think people are getting a lot more sticker shock with are the cabanas. Now, there are a number of cabanas. Some cabanas have kind of correlating cabanas at Perfect Day, and some don't. So there's the Beach Cabana, which is $2,199, includes a day pass for up to 8 people. There is the Royal Beach Cabana, which is $2,999, includes day passes for up to 10 people. There's also the Royal Pool Cabana, which includes day passes for up to 10 people. Now, those 3 cabanas have, I believe, you know, equivalents, if you will, at Cocoa Key, whether it's at the beach club or around. And actually, the Hideaway cabanas are probably where I'm kind of looking at this as a comparison. And these are about the prices, are a little higher than maybe you would find at Hideaway Beach. The regular beach cabana, $21.99. It's expensive, but it's not unheard of at Cocoa Key, at least these days. You know, back in the day, sure, but back in the, what wasn't more expensive back in the day? The cabana that's obviously got a lot of people, you know, not I would say up in arms, but certainly talking about is the Ultimate Family Cabana, which costs $10,000, includes day pass up to 12 people. Now, because it's a podcast, I can't go here and show you all the visuals of it, so you'd have to look at it up yourself. But obviously, it's not just your typical cabana by any means. Now, the Ultimate Family Cabana, there is one of them. And people that oftentimes will mention, oh, it costs $10,000 to go to the beach club. It's like, no, it doesn't. It costs $10,000 if you buy the Ultimate Family Cabana. In the same way that if I go on, you know, Utopia of the Seas, you shouldn't be quoting me the price of the Ultimate Family Suite as the starting point or as an example of anything. It's the definition of an outlier. It's not really the thing that's there. Is there someone that's going to buy it? Yeah. Will it be me? Probably not. Listen, I always said I was never going to book the Ultimate Family Suite because it was always too expensive. And then I found it for one particular cruise in which there was a crazy good deal, in my opinion, relative to that suite. And so I booked it. So I'm not saying I'll never book it, but I am definitely not booking it off the bat, as some of you think I'm going to jump at that. There is the name of research to be had, but that's a little too much even for my taste. I will say, though, for the regular cabanas, especially the pool cabana, it goes up to 10 people. So, you know, doing, again, some basic math here, if you slide that decimal point over 1, it's basically $299 a person. Not only does that include the day pass, but also the access to the cabana. And if I could round up 10 people and maybe split the cost with some families, it's really not a terrible price. I mean, granted, this is, you know, starting prices and there could be all over the place. I think the Royal Pool Cabana, the Royal Beach Cabana, and the Beach Cabana are all priced relatively normally. It's the Ultimate Family Cabana that's just crazy, because $10,000 is a lot of money. I mean, it does come with, like, you know, a private change room, wet bar, reserved beach space, heated whirlpool, frozen drink machine, TV, charging outlets, mini fridge. I mean, these are all amazing. I mean, if you look at the photos of it, or the renderings, I should say, it looks absolutely amazing. And I would not hesitate to go there if someone want to invite me there. But yeah, I mean, it's a crazy place with a crazy price, but it's a definition outlier. I look at it no differently than the Ultimate Family Suite. I never consider when I book a ship or pick a ship or consider which ship to go on, hey, how much does the Ultimate Family Suite go for? Because that's like my barometer. It's a fun detail. It's one of those things that make you go, wow. And that's about the extent of it. But the regular cabanas, I think, are priced, again, compared to Hideaway or the Cocoa Beach Club, I think they're probably in line with there. I mean, again, I think they're a little on the higher side to start with and maybe what those began with, but I don't know if that really matters to really compare the two. But I do love cabanas. I don't have one booked yet over here. I've actually, to be fair, let me put my money where my mouth is. At the time of the recording of this podcast, I, Matt, have not booked a day pass to the beach club or a cabana or anything like that. I actually don't have any cruises going to Nassau until I don't know when. I'm trying to figure out one in January. So anyway, if and when I do book that cruise, I will almost certainly be booking just a day pass there for, at least that's my plan, but I just wanted to put that all out there in the interest of full disclosure. Now, if you're looking for a party vibe, there's another new option here. And again, this does not have a correlation to anything at Perfect Day or Labadee for that matter. So there's a Floating Flamingo, which is this giant party bar. Basically, Royal Caribbean in the party zone was like, they wanted to make this like a Vegas pool party. They have this idea that, and this goes back to the Hideaway's implementation as well at Coco Key, like it's not adults only, but they want to have this adults leaning area where it's going to be a loud, rambunctious pool party. Because there is a segment of cruisers who want a party with their vacation. They want to have that fun in the sun, party all day, that kind of thing. And this is really the idea with this, they call the Floating Flamingo, which is also at home, by the way, to the World Swim Up Bar. So imagine the Swim Up Bar at the Hideaway meets Oasis Lagoon meets Las Vegas. I mean, it is crazy. The renderings is hard to like fathom. I can only imagine what this place is going to be like at like noon on most days, because it's got to be a huge party. Listen, this is not my necessarily idea of how Matt would like to have a good time. I got too old for it. 20 years ago. How old am I? 20 years ago, 15 years ago. I think I would have been like right in the middle of it, but hey, that's all right. There's plenty of other people to take my place. So the really interesting thing here is you can rent the party deck. Now the party deck includes passes up to 12 people, and it costs $4,999, so $5,000. The best way I can describe the party deck is if you've ever been to a club on land, like a nightclub, and you got like bottle service or one of those like secret VIP areas and paid for that. Maybe you've never done that before. I think that's what this is really about. It's like a private area for you and your group to party without having like shove people out of the way. No one shoves anyone. You know what I mean? Like you're trying to figure out your own space and all that. Reserved area just for you. It's $5,000. Does include up 12 people, which is a lot of folks, but it's not a cheap one either. But, considering that you're here to party and have a good time, and probably this is like, one of those, you only live once, let it all out, I guess. Again, I'm not the core customer for this one, but it's one of those things like it doesn't bother me because I don't care. I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to want to book it, so I have no skin in the game. I'm not going to get upset about a price that doesn't affect me. Is $5,000 reasonable? Well, again, if you do the math on this, it's a little less than $500 a person, and it does get your whole group in there to have a rambunctious party and dance and do whatever you do at one of these clubs here. And this is the DJ, and I am certain that there are people that'll find this interesting. It's not my cup of tea, but anyway. Some other things that are kind of interesting here. They also have day beds. It's interesting they're offering these. So day beds are $649, includes day pass for 2 people, which is nice. And includes complimentary dining and drinks with the day pass, basically. So everything with the day pass that you get plus the day bed. So that's a nice little upgrade there, considering that you have that reserved spot for you. And then Royal Caribbean also has some interesting options. So on the one side, they have these combo deals where you can book the deluxe beverage package and the beach club. And that's $139.99 per adult per day. Refreshment package and the beach club. $84.99 per adult per day for adults, $69.99 for kids. You can also combine the drink package and admission to the beach club and admission to Thrill Water Park at Perfect Day Coco Key. And basically what these offerings are, the combos with Perfect Day are obviously let's just make this easy. You want to do both these things, here you go, have at it, right? The deluxe beverage package and the beach club and the refreshment package and the beach club are Royal Caribbean's way, I guess you want to call it that, of basically saying for folks, well, I already have the drink package. Why do I need to pay for drinks at the beach club? Now, once again, this is a Royal Caribbean shore excursion, not Coco Key, so there's a distinction there. But I think what they're trying to say is if you're going to buy the drink package and you want to go to the beach club, here you go. Here's this, like, we're going to give you a deal, I guess. I haven't done the math yet. That'd be an interesting experiment or exercise in terms of trying to figure out, what the breakdown is and how much money it saves you versus booking it individually, keeping in mind also that depending on whatever sale happens, it's something else I would consider in the future. When there's like the Black Friday sale, right? Will the combo deal still be the best deal out there, or are you better off buying them individually? The jury's still out because I haven't done any math yet, so we shall see. The things that aren't offered is there's no discount if you have the drink package, just like inherently, like I already bought the drink package. Do I get a discount on the beach club admission? No. There's no suite benefits, like if you book a suite on the cruise ship, do you get discounts or free admission in? No, you don't. There is no Crown and Anchor drinks as far as I'm aware of. So if you have your diamond drinks, you can't book the non-alcoholic package to get day pass, I should say, and then go into the club and then redeem your drink vouchers there. That doesn't work there either. So again, it's a Royal Caribbean shore excursion. And when you start to think about it that way, I think it just makes it a lot easier to understand the nuances, because I feel like everyone's used to on a shore excursion, you lose all your benefits that are on board the ship, and it's a whole different ballgame as opposed to Perfect Day. So the pricing, like I said, I think the day pass pricing is reasonable. I think it's within lines of what I expected it to be. If you thought it was going to be $99 or less, I think you just weren't paying attention, quite frankly, to what those kind of experiences cost in the Bahamas otherwise. So I feel like that's part of the equation there. And I also think that some of the things like the party deck and the Old Cabana are ridiculously expensive, but they're also ridiculous experiences to begin with. Like Royal Caribbean wanted an over-the-top offering, and that's why they have these over-the-top prices to come with it. It's just, I don't say it's natural, but I mean, at least I can understand it. They're not charging $10,000 for your, bread and butter cabana you could otherwise get at Perfect Day. It's just they have the $10,000 cabana, and they have a lot of other smaller cabanas that are more in line with what you could expect at, Perfect Day. Now, I will also say that obviously I haven't been there yet. I haven't seen anything. These are all renderings and, theoreticals. So got to see it in real life, got to see what it's like and all that. I have really a lot of high faith that they're certainly going to deliver on it. I mean, I have a hard time believing it would be disappointing. It's really just a question now of, how does this all fit in? And again, I go back to what I said earlier, which is that I'm not sure I'm looking at this as every single time I go to Nassau, I need to book it there. Now, keeping in mind, by the way, that I am the outlier, because I know I cruise, once a month, not always to Nassau given, but I cruise a lot. For most people that are on a cruise ship, at least 60 to 70% of the people on that ship, they are brand new to Royal Caribbean. They are there for a great vacation. They've never done it before, and they're probably in the market for memories. That's one thing that Royal Caribbean has said a lot as to why people book cruises. They want to create memories for their families, and this beach club is really what it's all about. So, in where we are with Coco Key pricing for some of these experiences, I think it's certainly in line, especially for the cabanas. And I think for the day passes, it's still, as long as those prices are, and again, the pricing for the Atlantis and Baja market change as well, but I feel like it's still within line of where we're seeing for similar experiences. And I would also argue that those similar experiences like Atlantis and Baja Mar are not all inclusive. So it's still a better value with the beach club. But we'll see how it actually plays out when it actually opens. But I wanted to talk about it because so many people are talking about those prices there. And I'm curious what your thoughts are. Like, which option would appeal to you for going to the Royal Beach Club? Alrighty, time to answer listener emails, the part of the episode where I answer the emails you've sent me. And of course, you can always email me your questions, matt@royalcaribbeanblog.com. Put in the subject line, it's like podcast question or something like that. Otherwise, I just think you're looking for customer support, and then it gets awkward. All right, first email is from Rachel. Hello, Matt. My husband and I are new to cruising, and after listening to several of your podcasts last year, we finally decided to book our first cruise on Allure. We loved it so much, we've already booked our second cruise on Icon in October. I have a question of booking excursions through Viator and other independent sites. After doing a lot of research and reading reviews, I booked a private St. Martin tour through Viator. Their Their policy offers a full refund if you cancel at least 24 hours in advance. I reached out to the tour company directly to ask whether to get a refund if our ship couldn't dock with less than 24 hours notice. They told me they have a strict 24-hour cancellation policy and wouldn't provide a refund in that scenario. This doesn't sit well with me, though, but the company's reviews are excellent and the price is within our budget. Based on your experience, if a ship skips a port or changes itinerary, do passengers usually find out more than 24 hours in advance, or would you recommend playing it safe and looking for a tour with a more flexible cancellation policy? Thanks so much for any insight you can share and for all the helpful advice you've given new cruisers like us. Boy, it's a good question, Rachel, because as I was reading it, I was thinking, how am I going to answer this one? So I would say this. There is like a 99% chance your ship's going to dock in any given port, certainly within 24 hours. I'm trying to think like the situations in which I've been on a cruise and we had a cancellation within 24 hours, less than 24 hours. Usually it is weather related, like during maybe because of a hurricane, like we'll be in port, a different port. All right. And the next day, and then like the day before, we get a notice from the captain, hey, we're changing itineraries. So it's not unheard of. But it's pretty darn rare. A lot of times with that hurricane scenario I just mentioned, they make the change before the sailing begins or right around like the first day of the sailing. So like I said, I think it's a very unlikely scenario you're worried about. Now, it's fair. I mean, listen, it's your money. And at the end of the day, if this were to happen to you, I mean, I would want a refund, and I totally understand that. But I'm saying that the scenario you're talking about is not like, it's not a 50-50 chance. It's pretty low to begin with. But obviously, if that policy doesn't sit well with you, then yeah, you really should find a different option that does offer that, or at least a caveat. Like, I get it, I can't change my mind 2 hours before the sailing because it's rainy, because that's really what that policy is about. People like looking out their window be like, oh, it's cloudy, I don't want to go on this tour anymore. But, have a caveat like, as long as our ship can dock there, can we go? And that'd be my primary suggestion for you. But personally, this is a scenario in which I wouldn't mind rolling the dice on, especially if it's a good price or a tour you really want to do. But it's your money, so if you're not comfortable with that unlikely scenario occurring, then yeah, definitely go for something that offers a full cancellation if you are unable to dock there. Keeping in mind, by the way, I would also, as I'm saying all that, a lot of times travel insurance will kick in if you're unable to dock there. Your ship like skips a change of itinerary. You have to check with your travel insurance policy. But you could possibly get at least some of the money back, if not all the money back, through your travel insurance policy. But you'd have to do some research on that front. Next up, we have an email from Eugene from St. Louis, Missouri. Hi, Matt. We have a future cruise plan on Utopia this season. We purchased the deluxe beverage package. On the Royal Caribbean website, there are two prices for Royal Beach Club. One includes alcoholic drinks and one does not. If we purchase the club pass without alcoholic drinks, we'll be able to use our deluxe drink package for drinks. Couldn't find specific info on the website. And the answer is, I talked about, actually it's funny that I got this question on this episode. It wasn't intentional, but no, it wouldn't work that way. If you have a drink package that on Royal Caribbean on the ship, and you don't buy the combo deal, you just have a drink package as one purchase, and then a completely separate purchase is the beach club. No, we wouldn't be able to do that, where you purchase the non-alcoholic package and then get the drinks anyway. With that, it doesn't work that way. The combo deal I talked about was basically Royal Caribbean saying, well, we'll give you a deal or give you a discount if you book both of these, but you would have to book the combo in order to qualify for that, Eugene. So, good question there. Next question is from... did this person put their name? Dustin. I'm traveling on the November 2nd sailing, A Star of the Seas. This is an Eastern Caribbean itinerary with stops at St. Martin and St. Thomas. Daylight savings times changes on the day I'm leaving, and I'm wondering how this will affect our arrival into St. Thomas and St. Martin. The reason for this, I'm trying to schedule short excursions on these islands and have received conflicting information from different vendors. Yeah, this is a tough one. Generally speaking, daylight savings time is up to the not up to the captain. The choice to change time on the ship is up to the captain. In some cases, you will stay on ship time, which is basically you're staying on, East Coast time. And other times you'll change hours to local time. I've seen it both. When I was on Independence of the Seas this summer and our cruise left out of Southampton, England, we would always go forward an hour as soon as we left because we'd be going into Europe and they have a different time zone than us. And then on the day coming back, the last day, we would go back to the local time over there. But I've seen it go both ways. And in the Caribbean, that's the same thing. What I would tell you to do is when you're trying to plan short excursions, just simply tell them that. I mean, they're human beings on the other end of it. Say, hey, listen, we're booking this tour. I'd like to book it we're supposed to dock, and you'll have your docking time, whatever time that is, and say, I'm not sure with the time change what it'll be, but hopefully we have some flexibility there. And any shore excursion operator should be pretty good about that. But obviously, once you get on board the ship, double check it and generally have a easy point of contact. The other way to guard against this, Dustin, if you can at all, is let's say your docking time is 8 o'clock in the morning. Don't schedule the tour until, if you do it 10 o'clock, then you're good plus or minus an hour there. But it's kind of it is a bit of a guessing game. And I don't have a solid answer for you because the answer is it depends. So I would definitely contact the tour company. Obviously, if you're booking through Royal Caribbean, you don't have to worry about this because Royal Caribbean is going to take care of all this. But if you're booking on your own, then yeah, you just need to contact them. And every time I've done something like this, whether it's been, we've done a couple different boat charters out of St. Thomas, and they're all pretty good. This is not their first rodeo. They've dealt with this in the past. So yeah, I think you'll be okay. Next email's from Dawn. Hey, Matt, longtime listener, love your podcast. Booked a sweet guarantee for our upcoming Radiance of the Seas cruise in December. Getting conflicting answers and wanted to get your answer. Will we get double Crown and Anchor points on the guarantee suite even if they put us in a junior suite? Yes. So if you originally book, and this isn't the case, you're booking a suite guarantee, you get double points. Junior suites do get double points anyway, Dawn. So even if you booked a junior suite, like not a guarantee, it's just like, I want to book a junior suite category room, you would get double points. So I don't know why there's any discrepancy there. The conflicting answer comes from people who don't understand what you're doing. They're assuming that you're booking a balcony and trying to royal up into a junior suite, then that you wouldn't get double points. But that's not the scenario we're talking about here. So that's why people are confused on that. So yeah, you'll get double points because you're booking a suite guarantee. So you're good to go there. And our final email this week is from somebody who didn't put their name there. Good morning. My husband and I are going on Star of the Seas. We're excited about it. And then we're doing a back-to-back on Utopia. We will move to Diamond after our first night on our cruise. So it's actually the last sailing of their Utopias. They're doing Star, Utopia 1, Utopia 2. And they'll move to Diamond the first night of Utopia 2. Our travel agent indicated that it's in our booking. Do you know if Royal Caribbean will make that change during the cruise, or do we need to wait till the next one? Unfortunately, you need to wait till the next one. So if you were making the change, actually, hold on a second. The first night, yeah. She said the first night of the 1031 cruise. So no, it'll apply afterwards. If you had gotten that point on your first sailing of Utopia, then you could have been granted Diamond status. What you would have to do, though, your travel agent indicating is utterly meaningless. No offense to your travel agent. You'd have to go down to the Loyalty Ambassador on Utopia on Cruise 1 and explain what's happening, and then they could make that change for you. But because this is happening technically on Cruise 2, then it applies for the next sailing onwards. So you got 3 great sailings coming up, but you won't be able to use your Diamond status until you get onto sailing number 4, if that makes sense. Thank you for the great emails today. Thank you, everybody, for checking out this episode of the podcast. Until next time, I'm Matt. We'll talk again real soon.